Hey, what's up everybody? It is December 31st, New Year's Eve, just after 12 noon, and it's about 70 degrees. And as you can see over my shoulder, I have two medium boxes stacked and closed up. I ended up closing up the entrance around 8 p.m. last night. And if you can't hear that or not, there's quite a few bees buzzing around. So I'll show you what's going on. Actually, you can see it right there. That single deep has like 1 or 2 frames with some nicely drawn comb, and the bees have just been attracted to that ever since moving the hives over from Hampstead honey. I shook all the frames from that deep into the medium boxes. I set the deep where it currently is for about a day or two, left the entrance to the medium box open, hoping all the bees would migrate into the box. But I'm moving that box over to Warden's farm to provide some food to one of the single deeps from my yard, and maybe leave the other medium out for the bees in his yard to rob it out. Not really sure what the game plan is just yet, but there's a decent amount of bees in that box. So I'm about to get them loaded up into the car, head over to his place. I'll open the entrance over there, show you all that, but let's go take a look at that deep box that's sitting on top of some of the equipment, and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about with how many bees are still kind of just stuck to a few frames. Like they just won't leave the frames and move into the medium box, and that's currently what the bees that are flying right now are. So when I first came back here, I thought, oh great, here we go again. The bees pushed open or pushed out some of the foam and moved some of the tape out, and I'd have to retry again and basically change my plans for moving this box over to Paul's yard. But this is what I'm saying. There's just like 1 or 2, these 2 center frames, give or take, that these bees will not leave. It does not have any brood. It may have a little residual food, pollen, or some stored nectar or sugar water or something, but for whatever reason, these bees will not leave these frames no matter what I've tried over the last few days. So unfortunately, they're gonna have to figure it out, because I'm about to load this box up, and let's see from this angle. I'm about to load this box up and move it over to Paul's place. So I've actually removed the frames the other day, trying to figure out why they will not leave them, and I could not determine anything. So pretty weird. Let me know your thoughts. If anybody's ever condensed equipment, made some splits, left some equipment out like this, and the bees would not leave it alone. Let me know your thoughts as to why you think they will not get off this equipment. All right, I'm gonna get that medium stack loaded up and head over to Paul's place here shortly. All right, I got them all loaded up, and believe it or not, you can do a lot with a sedan and beekeeping. Obviously not as much as if you can with a truck and a trailer, but a sedan trunk, this is an 08 Avalon, you can hold 2 medium boxes stacked or 1 deep. That thing's heavy. I'm a little out of breath because I keep the bees back there, and it's not the easiest place to move through. But with the amount of bees that are flying and everything, I'm gonna leave my suit on, drive out the neighborhood, and probably take my jacket off, or at least the veil, halfway over to Paul's place. But those boxes probably weigh, I'd say, at least 60 pounds. Well, this is a first, driving my wife's car with my bee suit on. I imagine this would probably reduce your chances of getting pulled over if a police officer were to stop you, come up to the window, and see you fully suited up in a bee suit. All right, anyway, just thought this was funny for obvious reasons, I guess, but on the way to Paul's, be over there in about 15-20 minutes. We'll get the mediums unloaded, probably set them up on some cinder blocks, a hive stand, open up the entrance, see just how many bees come pouring out, and probably come up with a game plan then, whether that's to move one of the medium boxes onto one of my single deeps, or just let them be for a few days, and Paul might end up moving the boxes around later on at some point. But they definitely have some nice food stores in there. So again, thanks to Jim down at Hampstead Honey for gifting some equipment and some bees to me. These boxes will not go to waste by any means. I'll provide them to some of the bees that definitely need some more natural food stores, or even if it's funny honey, it doesn't really matter this time of year. It'll help the colonies out. So thanks again, Jim, for thinking of me. All right, made it over to Paul's place. I decided to suit up because I can hear a good amount of buzzing coming from the trunk, and I did not feel like being greeted with a bit of a surprise if I was not suited up. So let's open the trunk and see what we have going on. All right. All right. Just a few stragglers, nothing bad. The entrance is still secured, so I'm gonna get these boxes out of the trunk and we'll get them situated on top of some cinder blocks. Here we are in the back of Paul's place. I got the 2 medium boxes there situated between hives 2 and 6. And just to give you an idea how far I had to walk, just on the other side of that outbuilding, it's probably maybe 100 yards. But like I said earlier, these boxes have some weight to it, so let's get them opened up and see how many bees come pouring out. Here we go. So I closed up the entrance last night around 8 p.m., give or take. So just some pool noodle foam, nothing special, but with the amount of bees that flew into this hive, if you want to call it that, into these boxes, probably looking for food, I imagine we'll see a good amount come pouring out here in a second. I just came back to the car to close up the trunk, but given the amount of straggler bees, I'm gonna leave it open for a little bit. I should definitely give my wife a heads up that she might have some bees in the trunk. I don't think she'll like it if I forget to say anything.
Yep. There's definitely eggs in there. There's a lot of eggs in there. Holy smokes. And they got plenty of stores looking at the rest of them. This frame here, I'll show you. Hopefully you can pick up all them different colors. Yellows and reds and pale yellows.
Oh wow.
Holy smokes.
They're definitely building some comb.
Yeah, they're definitely building comb out. We're gonna get rid of that stuff though. I cannot get over how much of this candy board that they ate, so I don't know if I'll be able to actually take it off, but we're gonna try to do it and be careful about it. That's more sugar water on both sides. Yeah, there's sugar water all through there. Like the other ones, but then again, there's not as many bees from what I can tell. They got some nice channels eating into it, but still got a long ways to go on that one.
Let's take a look at the next frame. It looks like they've capped a decent amount, at least at the top, from what you can see just looking down. About halfway capped on this side. Yeah, these bees are making very good work of the food you're providing them. It's open. I'm always curious with the open patches. Paul went to grab a flashlight so we can see into some of this darker comb better, but this is hive number 5. He's running it as a double deep. No queen excluder. He's feeding them, so this is all funny honey, sugar water that they're storing, curing, and capping. but he's running the top box as a 9 frame. So this is the 4th frame, and we'll see if this can come up using the phone or not. But this patch right here, my eyes were drawn to it just because it's in the middle of or below some of the capped sugar water. But I don't know if you can see that or not, but sure enough, the queen has moved up into the top box, and there are eggs in these cells. Here, Paul got his flashlight. Let's see if that comes up. It's hard to tell looking through the veil. Yeah, I think so. Can you see the eggs in there?
Kind of looks like them.
Yeah.
This one here I put the quilt box on just because there's so many bees. They were making a lot of moisture in the colder weather. And there are bees on the sugar board, candy board, but they're not hitting it as hard as some of the other hives.